right. Cue me now. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. So, you're now tuned into Level Up. And today's question we have, I'll say it again. Today's question we have, suppose a man does not have enough money to pay all the bills. Will God approve of him sharing the bill payments equally with the 50-50 split? In that case, according to the biblical principles. So the question is, say, for example, if the brother can't afford the bills, and it says, would God approve of him sharing the bill payments equally with the 50-50 split? In that case, according to the biblical principles. Because the issue today is, yes, we went over last week in terms of, you can lower the music now, thank you. So we went over last week in terms of the men provided for the household. The men provided the substance, the food, clothing, as well as the money, be able to provide for a woman, take him as his wife. But now, say, for example, today's society, with inflation increasing, with the plot that they have against the black man to destroy him, the plot to keep him out of the workforce, they have actually plans in action during the 1960s to keep black men from working. Mass incarceration, giving brothers felonies. So at times, and they say that black women are mainly educated, so they gear the college system mainly towards women to get ahead of the man. That's when we read in Jeremiah 31, verse 33. Let's read that real quick. And a woman should compass a man. Read that.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, and verse
33, I think. 22.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. So we've seen that during the 1960s, the feminist movement, and you have different councils that was taking place regarding keeping a man outside of the household, such as welfare, WIC, women, infant, and children. Section 8, a man could not be present in a black household. You also have things put in place that black men couldn't get the same jobs or work. So we got the basis, or I'll say the base of all the workforce. And the jobs that we did have in the factories, they started removing those jobs so that we couldn't really work in the work fields or workforce. And with the mass incarceration, the war on drugs, decreased the employment rate of black men. So women throughout time begin to surpass men in the work field. Women over time begin to surpass men and are more enrolled in the educational system. Today, they have different organizations that's geared towards giving women grants to be entrepreneurs, to be business owners, to be self-employed. So the system is set up purposely to keep the man from his masculinity or from his role as the provider, the protector of the household. You know why? Because the white man understands that. Give me Sirach 25, the nature of a woman that sustains a man.
Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger.
And the white man understands the nature of a woman. That a woman naturally is not supposed to maintain a man. A woman's not supposed to provide for a man. But there has been instances that women have taken the helm or taken the responsibility to help carry the family because, let's be honest, the system's set up against us. The system is purposely set up against the man. There's counsels against keeping the man from being able to provide for his household so that he can structure his family. You don't think a man doesn't want to provide? It's in the nature for all men to provide. That's why some men decide to go about it the wrong way and become drug dealers, game bangers. So what? So they could get the woman because they understand that money, power, and respect comes with women. So they would go around the system because they can't get a proper job the correct way. Read that again.
A woman, if she maintain her husband.
So a woman, if she fully maintains her husband, she takes care of the financial responsibility. You're living in her house. She pays the bills. She pays for the food bill. She pays the phone bill, the cell phone bill, the lights. If a woman is maintaining her husband, go on,
is full of anger.
she is full of anger. That's why you see the movie, which is a good movie, I recommend to watch, Acrimony. The brother, the gentleman, like I said, in his youth, he had an idea for an invention. And it took most of his time, and his wife worked. Now, he understanding that, yes, eventually he hit the lotto, meaning he hit it big. His invention went big, meaning millions of dollars he went, and he paid the sister back. But understanding, yes, brothers, we might be struggling at times to better ourselves, to increase ourselves, and it takes time, but we still have to maintain some type of stability in a household. The full burden of maintaining a house should not go to the woman, because what it can do to a woman, and a woman's nature is not to provide for a house. Go on.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
So the white man understands if a woman maintains her husband, she is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach, and it destabilizes the household. So now the question is, but what if the man is working, but he doesn't make enough money, and a woman is working? So give me Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. These are conversations that you have with your wife beforehand, before you decide to get married or lay with that woman, and say, listen, I'm trying to better my career, or this is where I am financially. So I'm in love with you, you're in love with me, but this is where I'm at financially as a man. I do want to be able to provide fully, but because of the way the society is designed, listen, I only could afford this amount of bills.
Message.
I could afford the house. I could afford the rent. Make sure the house is in my name. I'm going to make sure that, because I'm supposed to provide a place for you to live. So I'm going to take care of those bills. I'm going to make sure the lights are on. I'm going to, whatever the case may be, whatever's income I don't know, everybody's income is differently. So this is a conversation that you have between you and your wife, and we are financially, because every man's not, it's based upon where we are. All of us are coming out of captivity. All of us is coming from a low state. All of us is coming from poverty. So does that mean that we don't get married at all? That we just leave it and stay celibate? No, you work together. You speak with one another. You come to a terms of agreement. Read that.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 1. In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
A man and a wife that agree together. Before you decide to lay down with that sister, before you decide to get the marriage certificate, make sure that the two of you agree together when it comes to financial contributions. Everybody has to have that conversation, and that's why most marriages fail. The woman believes that because, you know what, I'm contributing a certain portion to the finances, to the income, or to the income within a household to pay certain bills, I should have equal distribution of power within the house. No. That's why it says discuss before you get together. Listen, this is only what I can afford. If you want to be with me, this is the level that I am at right now. So, but, love, if you want to be with me, you have to maintain your femininity. You cannot try to usurp authority because you contributed a portion of some type of financial relief to the household bills. You got to maintain that. You still got to keep your womanly order. You still got to keep maintain the household. Take care of the kids. Make sure you cook and clean. All those things, because you work and you contribute to the household, doesn't subside. And women think because they contribute to the household that they can maintain a certain level of authority, or they can usurp a certain level of authority. No, that's not true.
Stop it.
That's nowhere in the Bible. Give me Tobit. Let's get a righteous example of our foremother that had to step up and take the position of providing for the household. Let's see if did she decide to usurp her authority, or try to gain some type of masculinity in her, or try to overpower Tobit. Let's read that.
The book of Tobit, chapter 2, verse 11. And my wife Anna did take women's work to do.
Anna took women's work. Go on.
And when she had...
Start at verse 10.
Yes, sir. Verse 10. And I knew not that there were sparrows on the wall. And mine eyes being open, the sparrows muted warm dung into mine eyes.
So the sparrow crapped in Tobit's eye. Go on.
And a whiteness came in my eyes. And I went to the physicians, but they helped me not. Moreover, Antiochus did nourish me until I went into Elemaeus. And my wife Anna did take women's works to do. And when she had sent them home to the owners, they paid her wages and gave her also besides a kid. And when it was in my house, I began to cry. I said unto her, from whence is this kid?
So Tobit says, where did you get this kid? Imagine Tobit being blind. I think he was blind for 8 years, right? So Tobit was blind roughly for about 8 years. Tobit was a hardworking man. He was a righteous man. You think any man in the right mind, if it's up to them, they don't want to work? Every man, it's in our nature to work to the sweat of our brow. God put that within our spirit. So a man that doesn't want to work, a slothful man, the scriptures says he should be counted as dung. But a righteous man understands it's in his nature to work and provide for his household. So there's sometimes that a man will be incapable based upon he might got injured at the job. That's why something called workers' comp, injury at the job. In this instance, Tobin went blind. So he can properly provide. So Anna, being a righteous woman, understood that because the scripture says, or when you announce your wedding vows, what it says, through sickness and health, no matter what the case may be. So Anna took that. Anna decided, say, you know what? I'm going to help out and assist in my household. So she took woman's work. Read that part again, verse 13.
And when it was in my house, I began to cry. I said unto her, from whence is this kid? Is it not stolen?
Tobit began to what?
Cry.
No man doesn't want to provide for his household. He cried. Go on.
I said unto her, from whence is this kid? Is it not stolen? Render it to the owners.
Is this not stolen? Give it back to the owners. So Tobit was so righteous, said, you know what? I understand how much you get paid. That's extra than what you get paid. Make sure you give back. If you have stolen, give it back to the owners. Go on.
For it is not lawful to eat anything that is stolen. But she replied upon me, it was given for a gift more than the wages. Howbeit, I did not believe her, but bade her render it to the owners. And I was abashed at her. But she replied upon me, where are thine alms and thy righteous deeds?
She says, Tobit, you crying, you getting upset. Where are your alms and righteous deeds? She understood Tobit had good work ethics. Tobit was a man known amongst the nation. Tobit gave alms and he had righteous deed. Anna understood that she had to step up because her husband's inabilities. So she had to remind her, listen, where are your alms and righteous deed that you did in the nation? Meaning, it's your turn just to relax and let the Lord bless you. Go on.
Behold, thou and all thy works are known.
So Anna didn't usurp authority. He says, thou and all thy works are known amongst the people, and the people provided for him. And he suffered. He went through it, and guess what? She stood by her side. She didn't disrespect him. She didn't usurp authority because she was a righteous woman. Now, is it wrong for a woman to work? No, it's not wrong. But the man is the sole provider. The man is supposed to provide a substance. But we are living in a different day of time. We are living in captivity. So does it mean if a woman works, so if a man works and a woman works, does the woman take on a position and role take the responsibility that a man's given to? So does she take on a 50-50 and play counterpart to the man? No. A man, even though he works, he has to do what? He has to protect. He has to lay down his life. Now, is the woman willing to do that? If the robber comes into the house, is she willing to lay down her life for the household? Is she willing to fight for the family? Is she willing to put her life on the line? So the man has his role. That's why give me Ephesians chapter 5. In terms of the husband laying down his life.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse
Get it?
25. Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
So the Lord requires, as Christ gave his life for the church, so the husband should love their wives. In addition, also give their lives for a righteous wife. So the woman working, so okay, she contributes to the household because she normally knows that, okay, the man's supposed to provide if you go based upon biblical traditional values. But there's been instances that women did work. There's many different examples that women work. But it doesn't change her position in the household, her role within the house, or God's divine order. So is the woman going to sacrifice herself for the husband? Is she going to take the bullet? If a robber comes in, is she going to be the first one downstairs? No, that's the husband's job to protect. So now, give me Proverbs chapter 31, verse 16.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 16.
And 17.
She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms.
So read it again, verse 16.
She considereth a field and buyeth it.
So this is a businesswoman. She considered a field going into real estate. Consider a field and buyeth it. She knows what to look for in the field. She knows how to cultivate a field. Go on.
With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard.
And the same field that she bought, with the fruit of her hands, she planted that same vineyard. So she's an entrepreneur. She understands work ethic. She understands entrepreneurship. A woman would not all of our women just sat there and maintained a house. Some women had skill sets that she contributed to the household. But she still maintained her femininity. She still maintained her position and role in the household. She still reverenced her husband. Read verse 27.
Verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household.
Even though she deals with business dealings, she looketh well to the what?
Ways of her household.
To the ways of a household. What is the ways of the household? Making sure my house is in order. Making sure the house is clean when daddy gets home. Making sure the kids are in order. You know what? In Korean culture or Japanese culture, the women work. But even though the women work, they still maintain the position and role within the household. I remember I used to teach back in my days when I used to teach music. I went to this Chinaman's household or Moabite's household. And the husband, he was a hard worker. The wife worked. She didn't make as much as the husband made. But guess what? When I used to go over the house, the husband would be reading the newspaper and the wife would be cleaning the household, doing the gardening. Shoot, she went as far as to mow the lawn. I said, damn. My man got the wife to mow the lawn? That's the next level. The black woman said, I would never. She said, nah, nigga. He said, nah, nigga, nah. You're taking it too far with this submission stuff. You're taking it too far with this submission. I said, wow. I said, unbelievable. I had to do a case study on that. I said, my man was sitting on the couch with the newspaper while the wife was mowing the lawn, taking care of the house to clean up. I said, wow, this is unbelievable. And there was another, and that's what said different. Our women have fell so far for their position and role. And they think that because they contribute to some type of financial relief, that they can usurp authority or maintain the same position of a man within the household, or they can share the same responsibility of the man within the household. No, that's what the white man, that's what he devised, to break up the household. You know what? If I give the woman work, so if she makes a certain amount of money, then I could increase her role in the house. And what happens? You can't have two heads within the same house. That's something called a monster. You see? You thought I was playing. All right. Is that it on that?
She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't eat the bread of idleness. Now, let's get to, so the answer to the question, to keep it short, is a man and a woman have to have that conversation concerning splitting the bills in the household. That's your household. That's your wife. So you have to communicate. So make sure one thing you men must always do. Get me Sirach 40. Keep the preeminence. 40, I think. Give me that. Sirach chapter. Keep the preeminence. Give me that real quick. What is that? 42. Where is that? Just popped up on my mind. Keep the preeminence.
Sirach chapter 33, verse 22.
Thank you.
And all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence.
In all thy works, keep thyself the preeminence. Just because a woman contributes to the household, the man's always to keep the preeminence. Keep the house in your name. Keep everything in your name. Keep thyself the preeminence in all thy works. Even though the wife is contributed, you keep the preeminence. You keep the authority. The woman's never supposed to usurp her authority, even in her position of authority. Even in her position of no matter how much financial relief or financial gain she contributes to the household. I'll give you an example. Give me in the book of Esther. Do you see, did Esther usurp her authority over Mordecai? Let's get it. Let me see. This came up in my head again. Let's get Esther. Let's see how our foremothers dealt with preeminence and her position and role as a queen. When she went to Mordecai, when Mordecai counseled her. If you can find out for me. 4:13.
Esther chapter 4, verse 13. Then Mordecai commanded to Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me.
So did Esther say, you know what? I'm a queen. How dare you, Mordecai? You don't have authority. You don't have a position. Did Mordecai make less? Yes, he did. Way less. Mordecai wasn't authority at that time period. So Mordecai being in his position, Esther still respected him because why? The man always was over the woman. No matter what position and role a woman played in our nation, the man was always authority, the authoritative figure. When Deborah was in position, let's get that. So now we have a righteous woman called Esther or Hadassah. She was the queen over the household, but she still subjected herself to Mordecai. Even with her position, the king gave all the riches to her. When you read the end of Esther, the whole kingdom was given, half of the kingdom was given to her. She had power, she had riches, she had anything that she desired. But she still subjected herself to Mordecai. You got that?
The book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 9. My heart is toward the governors of Israel that offered themselves willingly among the people. Bless ye the Lord.
The Lord was dealing with Deborah with dreams. And he was giving Deborah dreams in terms of how Israel should move. But she always went to the elders and subjected herself to them. She always, and even when, what is the name again? What does it start with a B? Barak. Even when Barak was scared to go to war, she said, should a woman get honor and glory? So she always tried to put the man ahead because why? She understands her position and role. And women like to use Deborah. Deborah subjected herself to the elders. Esther subjected herself unto Mordecai. So likewise, it doesn't matter a woman's position in this nation, her position in the workplace, if she makes more, even if she contributes to the household, she's still supposed to maintain her position and role and femininity as a mother in the household. To take care of the children, right. To guide the house. It doesn't change her position and role. Give me Timothy chapter 5. Hey, do you got the video with Monique? If you can find me the video with Monique. Even though she said, I'm not sure you guys know if I'm talking about. She says, even though I make more money, I submit myself to my husband. If you can find it. 1 Timothy chapter 5. A woman's position.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 9. No, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
I will, therefore, that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house.
Guide the house. A woman's position and role, even if she contributes money to the house, even if she makes more than a husband, a woman's position and role, despite how society has manipulated our women, how society has put a woman over the man financially, educationally, a woman's position and role is still to guide, bear children, guide the house. Go on.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Because the adversary will speak reproachfully and say the women are leading the man. And the other men from the other nations look down on a black woman, man, because the woman leading them. And they mock us. Give none occasion for the adversary to speak reproachfully, saying that the black man is weak. The black man is 3/5 of the man. He can't even lead his own household. They don't even respect us because our women lead us. And they purposely did that. So, all right, we'll end it on that. Well, hey, you found the clip? Monique speaking about her husband or no? Not yet? Okay, we can play that another time. But other than that, so we have another question for Men Up. So, for Level Up. We'll continue that next week. But we want to get into the gist of the class. So we want to get into the classroom. So we'll answer the next question next week. So keep in your questions. If you could put the information up on the screen. So if you have any questions regarding the household, dealing with your husband, dealing with your wife, dealing with your children, dealing with self-development, self-improvement, you want to better yourself in the nation, you want to learn how to deal with yourself or internal battles, whatever it is, anything geared towards leveling up, send in your information to IUIC.NewJersey at IsraelUnite.org. Once again, send in your information to IUIC New Jersey, IUIC.NewJersey at IsraelUnite.org.
Independent.
May I want to be where you are.
Who's the king?
May I want to be where you are. May I want to be where you are, yeah. Don't take away your spirit. Me like a baby. Fill me with the leche. Mi Salvador es negro.
Shalom Israel, you are subscribed to IUIC New Jersey, you done know.
With the spirit man, I went through the slave.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is